My sister pretended to have severe Down syndrome, so everyone would do whatever she wanted. After she ruined my friend's life with false accusations, we tricked her into admitting she'd been exaggerating her condition for years. My little sister has what's known as high-functioning Down syndrome. Basically, she has a rare type where only some of her cells carry the extra chromosome. So aside from looking slightly different, she actually had the same IQ as most people. But no one around us realized that, and she definitely knew it. It took me a while to catch on, honestly. As a kid, I adored her. Not like a friend, more like someone I was meant to protect, someone I wanted to see happy, even if that meant giving up parts of myself. Whenever she asked for help with homework, I'd just do it for her. She'd borrow my stuff and keep it, and I never said no. My parents would always say, "You're the best big sister anyone could ask for." That was the last time they ever praised me, because one day I told Jenna I was just too tired to do her homework, and instead of letting it go or brushing it off, she kicked the back of my legs until I collapsed and could barely breathe. I tried calling for my parents, and after a few minutes, my mom finally came upstairs. But before I could even explain, Jenna cut in with, "Mom," and my mom looked at me like I was the problem. She has Down syndrome. Of course she's going to mess up sometimes. Then she walked off, gave Jenna her favorite ice cream, and turned on another episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. My face burned. I felt this heavy guilt pressed down on me. Was I just being a terrible sister? That question stuck with me, until later that night. It was around 1 a.m. when Jenna burst into my room while I was fast asleep. "I figured out the exact force I needed to knock you down without leaving bruises," she said. Physics comes in handy. She was standing there with this smug, twisted smile, and that's when I realized she wasn't some innocent kid who didn't understand her actions. She knew exactly what she was doing, and after that, things only went downhill. One summer afternoon, we were sharing some watermelon. I gave her the best slices, the ones that were the juiciest. I guess I was chewing too loudly though, because out of nowhere she punched me in the back of the head so hard I felt dizzy. "Stop eating like a freaking peasant," she yelled. When our parents ran in, I thought maybe this time they'd help me up or at least ask if I was okay. But nope, they just rushed over to Jenna and started comforting her. "I'm so sorry your sister can't do better," my mom said. That moment right there, that was my first heartbreak, and it wasn't over a boy, it was my parents. Since we went to the same school, I couldn't avoid her. She'd spread rumors about me, telling everyone I was cruel to her. Every morning was just full of stares, whispers, and people treating me like garbage. Only one person stood by me, Eli. Eli had a brother with classic Down syndrome, so he actually knew what it meant to care for someone like that, and he hated how Jenna treated me even more than I did. He was the only one who actually noticed the bruises on my arms, the fading scars I had long before I could even follow a fire drill. But still, I didn't fight back, because even if she had everyone fooled, she still looked like she had Down syndrome. And I saw the way strangers stared at her, the awful jokes boys made about how they'd have to bag her face. I figured if I were her, I'd probably resent me too, but she crossed a line. Me and Eli were sitting together at lunch when Jenna suddenly walked over and sat right in his lap, like completely out of nowhere. "Want to go out with me?" she asked, batting her lashes. Eli panicked and said, "Sorry, I'm gay girly pop," doing this weird flick of the wrist. It made me cringe. But Jenna, she wasn't embarrassed. She was furious. That afternoon, the second I got home, my mom was waiting at the door. "You're not allowed to be around Eli anymore," she snapped. I froze. She went on, "He should be in jail after what he did to your sister. Forcing himself on a girl with Down syndrome, it's disgusting." I just nodded, pretending to take it in, then ran to my room. On Instagram, everyone from school was posting on their stories. Eli was a predator. My eyes burned with tears. I prayed she'd stop there, but I should have known better. 6 months later, Jenna was testifying in court. No one listened to me. And Eli, he got a full year in juvenile detention, no parole. But this time, I wasn't gonna let her win. 11 months gives you plenty of time, not to wallow, but to plan. I paid attention to everything Jenna did, her behavior when no one was looking, the things she said, the way she carried herself like the world owed her. By the time Eli got out, I was ready. I had built the perfect way to take her down. When the day came, I picked Eli up from the detention center. He didn't look all that different, but something in his eyes had changed. They were hollow, like he lived a lifetime behind bars. We drove for a while without speaking. Then finally he said it. He'd spent every day thinking of how to get revenge on her. I told Eli I had a plan, but before I could even explain it, he cut me off. "No," he said, his voice suddenly sharper. "I've got a better idea. Just trust me on this." Something in his tone had changed. It sounded colder, harder. I didn't understand what he was thinking, but I nodded anyway. That next week at school felt off. Eli started avoiding me, like completely, wouldn't make eye contact, wouldn't acknowledge me in the halls, nothing. Then Friday rolled around, and what I saw made my stomach flip. There he was, sitting with Jenna at lunch, laughing like they were old friends. My hands started to tremble. Had jail changed him that much? Or was this some kind of setup? I tried to catch his eye, but he refused to look my way. After school, I waited by his locker. When he finally showed up, Jenna was glued to his side. She gave me this smug little grin and laced her fingers with his. Eli glanced at me and said, "Sorry, I had a lot of time to think." And I realized I'm straight, and honestly, Jenna's amazing. My jaw dropped. Jenna's grin only grew wider. They walked off together, leaving me standing there like a total idiot. That night, I tossed and turned. My brain wouldn't stop playing it all back. Eli had been the only person on my side, and now he was dating the girl who had completely destroyed his life? Unless that was the plan. I grabbed my phone and sent him a message. No reply. The next day was Saturday, and I saw Jenna post a photo on Instagram. She was at Eli's house, meeting his parents. The same parents who had another son with full Down syndrome. And I knew them. They weren't clueless. They were smart. Really smart. If Jenna was trying to charm her way into their world, there was no way she could fake it for long. So I waited. I watched. By Monday, something felt different. Jenna was suddenly active in class, answering questions, using big words, speaking with confidence. People were noticing. By Wednesday, she was actually helping other students with their assignments. The same kind of homework she used to dump on me. And now the whispers weren't about me. They were about her. Kids were confused. How is someone with Down syndrome solving calculus problems? Then on Thursday, Eli's parents came to pick him up from school. From across the parking lot, I saw Jenna chatting with them. Fast, animated, full-on hand gestures. Eli's mom tilted her head like she was trying to figure Jenna out. His dad just looked annoyed. That night, I finally got a text back from Eli. One word: patience. Friday was when it all started unraveling. In biology class, Jenna corrected the teacher out loud. The whole room froze. Later at lunch, I was sitting alone, business as usual, eating an apple. I made sure to chew loudly, like really loudly. Jenna sat with Eli and his friends a few tables over, and I could feel her tension building. She kept cutting glances at me, so I bit into the apple again. Crunch. Then another. Crunch. And that's when she snapped. She stood up. Eli tried to hold her back, but she yanked her arm away and marched toward me. I didn't move, just kept chewing, staring straight ahead. She ripped the apple from my hand and hurled it across the cafeteria. It exploded against the wall. The entire room fell silent. Every eye was on us. Her face was red, twisted in rage. "You think you're clever, huh?" she screamed, chewing like that to get under my skin. I stayed calm. "I don't know what you're talking about, Jenna. I'm just eating." She lunged toward me, but Eli grabbed her again. "Babe, chill," he said. "She's not worth it." But Jenna wasn't hearing him. She kept yelling about how I ruined her life, how I was jealous, how I couldn't handle that she was special. But the more she talked, the less she sounded. Disabled. No slurred words, no slow processing, just crystal clear fury, delivered with perfect grammar and a college-level vocabulary. Teachers started rushing in, then the principal. Phones came out, first one, then another. Soon, half the cafeteria was filming. Eli let go of her and stepped back, looking stunned. "Jenna, you sound different." She froze. That was the moment it hit her. She'd blown it. The principal asked her to come with him. As they walked out, I could already hear students whispering. "Did you hear her? She sounded totally normal. Has she been faking this whole time?" Eli sat next to me and leaned in. "That went even better than I planned," he whispered. "I just wanted her to get comfortable enough to mess up. Didn't think she'd snap like that." That night, videos of Jenna's meltdown were all over social media. Everyone saw it. Clear audio, high-res footage. There was no denying it anymore. The weekend was insane. My phone lit up every few minutes like a disco ball. People from school were blowing up my messages. They wanted to know the truth. Had Jenna always been like this? Had she lied about me? I didn't reply. I was drained. Years of this took everything out of me. Then came Monday. I walked into school expecting chaos. Instead, I found a campus split right down the middle. Half the students thought Jenna was a manipulative faker. The other half still believed she was a victim, just having a bad moment. Eli found me by my locker. "This isn't done," he said. I asked what he meant. "One video's not enough," he said. "People are already making excuses, saying she just had a meltdown. We need more, something bigger." I didn't understand what bigger meant until lunch. Jenna walked into the cafeteria like nothing had ever happened. She was back in full act mode. Slurred speech, blank stares, overdone confusion. But this time the room was watching her differently. People were paying attention, closely. You could see it in their eyes. Students studying her face, her movements, waiting to catch her slip again. This time Eli sat with me. We didn't really talk much, just sat there and watched everything unfold. Jenna was with her usual group, but you could tell something was off. She kept trying to chat with them, but their responses were short and awkward. Then Derek walked over to her table. He's in our AP physics class, had his textbook in hand. He asked Jenna if she could help him figure out a problem, said he heard she was really good at physics, and boom, the whole cafeteria went quiet again. Jenna's face lost all its color. She mumbled something about not being good at academic stuff, but Derek kept at it. "That's advanced level physics," he said. Jenna suddenly stood up, her tray crashing to the floor. Food splattered everywhere. She started crying and bolted out of the cafeteria. But as she passed by, I heard her mutter kinetic energy under her breath. And I wasn't the only one. A bunch of others caught it too. The rest of the week, super tense. Jenna went full throttle on her performance, but fewer people were buying it now. Even teachers were catching on. In English, Mrs. Noason asked Jenna to read aloud. She put on the act, pretending to struggle with simple words. But when she thought no one was watching, I saw her roll her eyes. Connor saw it too. He was sitting right behind her. After class, he told a few people, and then it all started unraveling. More stories started surfacing. Students remembered moments when Jenna had slipped up, using big words, solving problems instantly. No one had thought much of it before, but now, everyone was putting the puzzle together. By Thursday, Jenna was spiraling. She cornered Eli in the hallway, demanding to know why he was ghosting her and not defending her anymore. Eli played it cool, said he didn't know what she meant, told her he still cared. She grabbed his shirt and snapped, "Stop lying. I know what you're doing." Eli gently pushed her hands off and said, "Babe, you're scaring me. You haven't been yourself lately." She stormed off, furious. Then came Friday, and everything blew up. The school had scheduled an assembly about inclusion and disabilities. The principal hoped it would calm tensions down, maybe smooth things over. Spoiler, it didn't. They started talking about different types of disabilities, and the second they brought up high-functioning conditions, the entire room turned to look at Jenna. She was right up front, trying to act confused, but her jaw was clenched tight, and her hands were balled into fists. After the assembly, she followed me into the bathroom. "You think you've won, huh?" she said. "I was at the sink washing my hands." "Not sure what you're talking about," I replied. She let out this cold laugh, zero humor in it. "Eli told me everything, that you two planned all of this." I turned to face her. "Eli and I haven't even spoken in weeks. You made sure of that, remember?" Her face twisted with rage. "Stop lying. He admitted it. You're both trying to ruin me." I shrugged and headed for the door. She stepped in front of it, blocking me. And that's when Morgan walked in. Morgan was Eli's cousin, had just transferred to our school the month before. She looked between us and asked, "Is everything okay?" Jenna instantly dropped into her act again, slurring her words, pretending to be confused, said she just needed help finding her class. Morgan didn't buy it. She raised an eyebrow and said, "Really? Because 2 seconds ago, you sounded totally fine, and it kinda looked like you were threatening her." Jenna's mask cracked, just for a split second. You could see the raw fury flash across her face. Then she shoved past Morgan and left the bathroom. Morgan turned to me. "Eli's parents want to talk to you. They've got questions about Jenna." I told her I'd meet with them after school. That meeting was Eli's parents. Frank and Bobby sat across from me in their living room. Eli was there too, but he stayed quiet. Frank was the first to speak. "We've been watching Jenna closely," she said. "Something just doesn't add up." She glanced over at Eli's younger brother, their son with true full Down syndrome. "What Jenna has," she added, "isn't the same." I nodded. Bobby leaned forward, hands clasped. "We did some digging," he said. "Mosaic Down syndrome can vary, sure, but none of the medical literature describes what Jenna's doing." I told them about the time she calculated the perfect force to kick me down as a kid, and how she bragged about it later. Frank's expression darkened. "She's been playing everyone," she said, "even the legal system." Eli finally spoke. "I wanted to expose her, but first I had to get her to trust me, let her guard down." "It worked better than I expected," he added. His parents exchanged a look. "We need to tread lightly," Bobby warned. "She's already shown she's willing to use the system against people." Frank nodded. "But we can't just let this go. It's not right." We spent the next hour talking about next steps, and then Jenna handed us the perfect opportunity. That weekend, she posted on Instagram a long emotional caption about how hard her life was, how misunderstood she felt because of her disability. But here's the thing, she used perfect grammar, complex sentences, no errors at all. Someone screenshotted it before she had time to delete and repost a dumbed-down version. The screenshot spread like wildfire. By Sunday night, everyone had seen it. Monday morning, absolute chaos. Jenna walked into school flanked by our parents. They marched her straight into the principal's office. I could hear my mom yelling down the hallway, something about cyberbullying and discrimination, but the principal wasn't playing along. Over the weekend, a bunch of other parents had called in. They wanted answers. They were asking if their kids had been manipulated, if Jenna had been lying this whole time. Then came the announcement at lunch. A school-wide parent-teacher conference had been scheduled for that evening. Attendance was strongly encouraged. After school, Eli found me again. He looked me straight in the eye and said, "This is it. Tonight was it. Everything was about to come out. No drama, no lies, just the truth. Let her dig her own grave." When I got home, my parents were furious. My mom screamed for 2 straight hours, said I was jealous, cruel, and ruining Jenna's life. I didn't argue, just went to my room and waited. The conference started at 7. When we got there, the auditorium was packed. Parents, teachers, students, everyone wanted answers. The principal began by saying the meeting was to address concerns about a student. He didn't name Jenna, but everyone knew. He talked about trust, honesty, and school values. Then he opened the floor. The first to speak was Tracy, Connor's mom. She said her son had shared disturbing things, that a student might be faking a disability. She wanted to know what the school was doing. Before the principal could reply, my mom stood up. "This is a witch hunt," she said. "My daughter has Down syndrome. She's being targeted for being different." That's when Frank, Eli's mom, stood. "With respect," she said, "I have a son with Down syndrome. I know what it actually looks like. What Jenna's doing doesn't line up." The room exploded. Some parents backed Jenna. Others demanded answers. The principal tried to calm everyone. Then Jenna stood. "Stop it," she shouted. "All of you, just stop." The room fell silent. She was breathing hard, face flushed. "You want the truth?" she said. "Fine, I have mosaic Down syndrome. I'm smart, smarter than people expect." Then her voice got tight. "You know what it's like? Being treated like an idiot before you even speak? I learned young that playing dumb got me further. People were nicer, gave me things, expected less. Some parents looked sympathetic, others didn't. My mom reached for her. Jenna pulled away. She added, "Yeah, I used it, sometimes. But my sister, she never got it. She had everything. A normal face, a normal life. People loved her. I just wanted that too." Her voice cracked. But it was too late. The principal cleared his throat. "Regardless," he said, "there are serious claims about false accusations. We can't ignore them." Then Bobby, Eli's dad, stood up. "My son spent a year locked up, over a lie. A full year of his life, gone." Jenna's face went pale. I didn't mean, but Bobby wasn't finished. "We've got multiple witness statements. People heard her admit it. She's been manipulating folks for years." The room exploded again. Security was called to calm everyone. The principal declared the meeting over, said the school would launch a full investigation. There would be consequences. As we walked out, Jenna avoided my gaze. My parents were silent. The drive home felt like a tomb. The next few days didn't feel real. Jenna stopped coming to school. The investigation had begun. Students were called in to give statements. Eli and I gave ours separately. We told them everything, every threat, every lie. By the end, the principal looked drained. He said he hadn't seen anything like this in 3 decades. Then on Thursday, word spread. The police were involved. Not because of Jenna's act this time, because of what she did to Eli. Turns out, filing a false report is a serious crime, even for minors, even with a disability. My parents started to crack. I heard them fighting at night. My dad said maybe they were wrong. Maybe they should have listened to me. My mom still defended Jenna, but her voice wavered. On Friday, I came home and found Jenna packing. She wouldn't say a word, just kept shoving clothes into her suitcase. My mom told me she was going to our aunt's, just until things cooled down. I asked, "How long?" She didn't answer. That night, I cried. Not for Jenna, not for my parents. I cried for the girl I used to be, the one who loved her sister without question, who did her homework, shared her toys, and never asked why nothing was returned. That girl had been gone for a long time. I just didn't want to admit it. The weekend felt empty, too quiet. Eli came over Saturday. We sat in my backyard. No small talk, just silence. Then he spoke. His parents were pressing charges. Jenna would probably get community service, maybe therapy, probation. I asked if that was enough for him. He said it wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about making sure she couldn't hurt anyone else. We sat there for a while, just being still. Then Eli asked if I wanted to get ice cream. I said yes. It was the first normal thing I'd done in years. We went to that downtown spot with 30 flavors. I picked chocolate. He got vanilla. We sat outside and watched people pass. No one stared. No whispers. Just 2 teens eating ice cream. And it felt normal. That night, Jenna called. First time since she left. Her voice sounded different. Tired. She said she was sorry. Said she'd been thinking about everything. What she'd done. How she'd hurt people. Especially me. I didn't know how to respond. Part of me wanted to forgive her right away. The other part remembered every bruise, every lie, every humiliating moment. I told her I needed time. She said she understood. Said she was getting real help this time. Not faking it just to shut people up. We hung up without saying goodbye. I stared at my phone, wondering if she meant it. Wondering if it even mattered. Monday at school felt different. People still talked. But it wasn't the main topic anymore. Life was moving forward. Eli and I had lunch together. Not as a couple, just as 2 people who'd survived something awful. Morgan joined us. So did Connor. And Sierra from English class. For the first time, I had real friends. People who knew the truth. And still chose to sit beside me. It felt strange, but good. At home, my parents were different too. They started calling during the day. Asking if I was okay. If I needed anything. More attention than I'd gotten in years. And I didn't know how to take it. Part of me was angry. Where was this concern when I was covered in bruises? But another part was just tired. Too tired to hold on to all that anger. By Wednesday, the principal made an announcement. The investigation was over. Disciplinary actions had been taken. He didn't name names, but everyone knew. Jenna's permanent record would reflect what she did. Her college chances, scholarships, gone. The life she built on lies falling apart. I thought I'd feel victorious, but instead, I felt empty. Eli noticed. He told me it was okay to feel that way. "She's still your sister," he said. I nodded, but didn't trust myself to answer. That afternoon, I walked into the bathroom and found Avery crying in a stall. Avery was a freshman, one of Jenna's biggest defenders. I asked if they were okay. They said they felt stupid. They'd believed Jenna, thought they were protecting someone vulnerable. Now they didn't know what to believe. I told them it wasn't their fault, that Jenna was just really good at what she did, and that caring isn't something to be ashamed of. Avery nodded, wiped their face, and thanked me for not rubbing it in. I'd never do that, I said. We'd all been fooled at some point. Thursday brought more drama. A local news station wanted to do a story. The principal shut it down immediately, said students involved were minors and deserved privacy. I was grateful, but Eli's family wasn't as lucky. Someone had leaked their name. They got calls from reporters. His mom was furious. She just wanted peace. But the internet doesn't forget. Screenshots of Jenna's old posts were still floating around. People were dissecting them, analyzing every word. It felt like watching a slow-motion car crash. You wanted to look away, but you couldn't. Friday was Jenna's birthday. In the past, it was always a big deal. Parties, presents, everyone doting on her. This year, nothing. My parents didn't even mention it. I thought about texting her. Typed and deleted message after message. What do you even say to someone who tormented you for years? Happy birthday just felt wrong. Eli noticed I was quiet. Asked if I was okay. Some days are harder, he said. We were sitting in the library when Jordan walked up. Jordan was the one who filmed Jenna's meltdown. They said they felt guilty, like they'd caused all this. I told them they hadn't started anything. They just recorded what was already happening. Jordan nodded but said, still watching someone's life fall apart because of a video, it's heavy. I got it. Even though Jenna hurt me, seeing her lose everything didn't feel good. It just felt sad. The weekend went by in a blur. Homework, TV, pretending things were normal. My parents tiptoed around me. They'd ask if I wanted to talk. I always said no. What was left to say? That I was right all along? That they should have listened? None of it would change the past. Sunday night, my dad knocked on my door. He said he was sorry, that he failed me, that he should have seen what was happening. I told him it wasn't all on him. Jenna was good at hiding things. But he shook his head. No, he said. I should have protected you, both of you. I should have gotten her real help. Instead, I enabled her. We both did. He cried. I'd never seen that before. I hugged him, told him we'd figure it out, that maybe it wasn't too late. He hugged me back, said he loved me, said he was proud of me, for surviving, for staying kind despite everything. I cried too. Years of hurt poured out. We just held on. Then came Monday, and unexpected news. Jenna was returning to school. The administration decided she could finish the year under strict conditions. Mandatory therapy, no contact with certain students that included Eli and me. If she broke those rules, she'd be expelled immediately. I saw her between second and third period. She looked smaller somehow, defeated. She saw me too, started walking my way, then stopped. She remembered the rules and turned around. It was strange. For so long, she'd been this overwhelming presence, someone I feared. Now she was just a girl who'd lost everything. I almost felt sorry for her, almost. But then I remembered the bruises, the lies, the years of silence, and the sympathy faded. Maybe one day I could forgive her. Maybe we could be sisters again. But not today. Today was about healing, about building the life she tried so hard to break, about learning who I was without her shadow over me, about living without fear, about finally using the voice I'd buried for so long. The next few weeks were strange. Jenna kept to herself. She ate alone in the far corner of the cafeteria. People stared, but no one spoke to her. I'd catch her watching me in class. She'd always look away quickly. Eli told me she tried to approach him after school once. Security stepped in, reminded her about the restraining order. She just nodded and walked away. I sometimes wondered what she wanted to say, but honestly, I didn't care. My parents were trying hard to make up for everything. Mom cooked my favorite meals. Dad actually listened when I talked, but it all felt scripted, like they were following a guide called How to Act Like a Good Parent. I didn't fight it. What was the point? One night at dinner, Mom said Jenna's therapist recommended a family session. I almost choked on my pasta. I told her absolutely not. Dad backed me up, said I'd been through enough. She didn't bring it up again. School returned to normal. The drama was old news. People had moved on. New gossip, new tests, same teenage noise. And it was nice. Eli and I started hanging out more. Not dating, just existing together in peace. Movies, lunch, quiet moments. His parents would invite me for dinner sometimes. His brother Noah showed me his art. He was proud of it, and rightfully so. It was amazing. I always told him that. Then everything changed. Again. It was a Thursday. I was eating lunch with Eli and Morgan when we heard shouting. We turned to see Jenna standing on a cafeteria table. She was yelling at a freshman who had apparently bumped into her. The poor kid looked terrified. Phones came out. Jenna didn't care. She kept shouting about how everyone disrespected her, how she was tired of being treated like trash. A teacher rushed over, told her to get down. She refused, said she was tired of being invisible. That's when she saw me watching, and her face changed, like something clicked in her brain. She jumped off the table and started marching toward me, fast. The teacher yelled after her, but she didn't stop. Eli stood up, stepped between us, told her to stop. She tried to go around him. He blocked her again. That's when she snapped. She shoved him hard. He stumbled backward into our table. Food went everywhere. I moved to help him, and that's when I felt her grab my hair. She spun me around, screamed in my face, told me this was all my fault, that I'd ruined her life, that everyone loved me and hated her. I tried to pull away, but her grip was tight. People were yelling, teachers running over, and then something unexpected. Noah appeared, Eli's brother. He wasn't supposed to be in the cafeteria, but there he was. He walked up to Jenna, calm as ever, said, "Please let go, you're hurting her. That's not nice." Jenna froze, stared at him. Her hand loosened. Noah smiled, that sweet, innocent smile. He said, "It's okay to be mad, but hurting people doesn't make the mad go away. It just makes more mad." The room went silent. Everyone was watching. Even the phone stopped moving. Jenna let go. Her hands were shaking. She looked around at the students, at the phones, at the teachers closing in. Then she looked back at Noah. Security escorted her out. She didn't fight, just kept staring at him. She was expelled that afternoon. No more chances. She'd broken every rule, attacked 2 students, made threats. It was over. My parents were called in to collect her things. Mom cried the whole time. Dad looked empty. That night, they told me Jenna would be going to a therapeutic boarding school. Somewhere far away. Somewhere that could help. I asked for how long. They said at least a year. Maybe longer. I said okay. What else could I say? Eli had a nasty bruise from hitting the table. His parents considered pressing charges again, but he told them no. He just wanted it to be done. Noah kept asking if Jenna was okay, if she was getting help for her mad feelings. We told him yes, and he seemed content with that. Noah said everyone deserved help when they were sad or mad. Kid had more wisdom than most adults I knew. Made me think how different things could have been if Jenna had been more like him. If she'd used her intelligence to help instead of hurt. The next few days were still, like the quiet after a storm. People at school treated me differently. Not mean, just cautious, like I might fall apart. I hated it. I told Eli I just wanted things to be normal. He said normal's relative. Said we'd find our new version of it. Morgan started joining us at lunch. So did Sierra, Connor, even Avery. I'd gone from eating alone to sitting with a full table. It was nice and overwhelming. I wasn't used to having friends. A week after Jenna left, I found a letter in my locker. I recognized her handwriting instantly. My hands shook opening it. It was 4 pages long. She said she was sorry. That therapy had helped her see things clearer. She said she'd been jealous of me. Not because I looked normal, but because people liked me for me. She wrote that she let that jealousy turn into hate. Said she didn't expect forgiveness. Just wanted me to know she was trying to change, trying to be better. I read it twice, folded it up, put it in my my backpack. Didn't know what to do with it. Didn't even know how I felt. Eli asked if I was okay when I met him after school. I showed him the letter. He read it, handed it back, and asked what I wanted to do. I said I didn't know. He said that was okay too. We walked to his place. Noah was outside, drawing with chalk all over the driveway. Flowers, suns, stick figure families. He asked if we wanted to help, so we did. For the next hour we just drew, and for once I felt peaceful, really peaceful. That weekend my parents sat me down, said they were starting therapy too, family counseling. They asked if I might join one day. I said maybe, not yet. They understood. Mom stopped binging reality TV, started reading parenting books. Dad was home more, working remote when he could. They were trying, and it showed. Eli asked me out the next Friday. A real date. Said he was waiting until I was ready. I said yes. We went mini golfing. I was awful. He wasn't much better. We laughed every time one of us lost the ball. It was perfect. No drama. No wait. Just two teens on a dumb happy date. We held hands on the way home. His palm was sweaty. So was mine. We didn't care. He kissed me goodnight on my porch. It was awkward and sweet and exactly right. After that, life settled into a rhythm. School, homework, time with Eli, Sunday dinners at his house. Noah always saved me a seat, told everyone I was his friend. His family treated me like one of their own. It was the kind of warmth I'd missed growing up. Being accepted, seen, wanted, not out of pity, not out of obligation, but just wanted. 3 months later, I got another letter from Jenna. This one was different, less apologizing, more reflection. She said therapy was helping, that she was learning to understand herself better. She'd started mentoring younger kids with actual disabilities, said it felt good to finally use her intelligence to help instead of manipulate. She included a photo, her with a group of smiling kids. She looked different too, softer, calmer, maybe even happy. I kept that letter, didn't write back, but I didn't throw it away either. My parents asked if I wanted to visit her. I said no. They didn't push. Just said the door was open if I ever changed my mind. They'd changed too. Mom apologized more times than I could count. Said she failed both of us. Dad started coaching a basketball team for kids with disabilities. Said it helped him understand what real challenges looked like. We ate dinner together now. Talked about our days. It wasn't perfect, but it was better. Eli and I had been dating for 5 months when Jenna called again. First time I heard her voice since everything happened. She sounded calmer, older. She said she understood if I didn't want to talk. Just wanted to hear my voice. Tell me she was okay. Said she'd gotten into a behavioral program. Was learning coping skills. Making actual friends. I listened. Didn't say much. When she asked how I was, I told her, good, and I meant it. I was finally good. After years of not being okay, I actually was. She asked if Eli made me happy. I said yes. She said she was glad. Said I deserved someone good. Then there was a long pause, and she said she had to go. Group therapy was starting. Before hanging up, she said she loved me. I said okay, not I love you too. Just okay. It was all I could give. Maybe one day I'd be able to say it back, but not today. Today, okay was enough, for both of us. Senior year brought change. Jenna wasn't coming back. She'd finished her program and enrolled in a therapeutic college, a place where she could keep healing while studying. My parents visited her once a month. I still didn't go, but I sent her a birthday card. She sent one back for mine. Small steps. Eli and I were still together, applying to colleges. We'd picked some of the same schools, not on purpose, just ended up that way. If we landed at the same one, great. If not, we'd figure it out. The year flew by. Prom, graduation, summer plans, normal things I never thought I'd get to have. Jenna sent me a graduation card. She said she was proud of me, said I was strong, said she was still sorry. I added it to the letters. My collection of apologies. Proof that she was trying. Proof that maybe people could change. Even the ones who broke you. The physical scars had faded. The emotional ones, they were healing. Slowly but surely. College acceptance letters came. Eli got into his dream school. So did I. Different states, different futures. We decided to try long distance. If it worked, great. If it didn't, we still had this. Had each other when it counted, when it mattered most, when no one else showed up. And that kind of bond, it was worth keeping. Even across time zones. We'd already survived worse. The night before I left for college, my parents threw a small party. Just family and close friends. Eli's family came. Noah gave me a drawing. Us playing mini golf. Stick figures. But you could tell who was who. I promised to hang it in my dorm. And I meant it. Right above my desk, where I'd see it every day. A reminder that good things can grow from painful places. That family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's the people who show up when it matters. The next morning, while packing my car, I found one last letter. This one from my parents. They told me how proud they were, how sorry they still were, how much they loved me, said they hoped college would be everything I dreamed, that they'd always be there if I needed them. Better late than never. I hugged them, really hugged them. No more awkward, stiff side hugs. The real kind. Mom cried. Dad did too. I might have joined them. It was a good moment, one we all needed. The drive to campus was long. Plenty of time to think about everything, where I'd been, how far I'd come, how I went from being invisible to being seen, from silence to being heard. It wasn't the childhood I'd wished for, not the family I'd dreamed of, but it was mine. Messy, flawed, human, and honestly, better than okay. It was good. I was good. And that was everything.